I recently met the Mayor of Reykjavik and founder of Iceland's best party, Jon Gnarr. He was with the Chairman of Culture and Tourism for Reykjavik, Einar Orn Benediktsson. They were in Ireland as part of the Iceland-Ireland project, which is hoping to build significant links between the two countries. Well, when I asked the two guys what advice they'd give the incoming Irish government, they recommended Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga was possibly not a solution to the financial situation, but by listening to different types of music or different types, let's say that listen to other voices around you, take heed to what other people are saying to you, take advice. You don't know everything, I don't know everything, so if I don't know something, I ask around and I try to gather knowledge together. And by checking on what people are saying, how they are behaving. Politicians, in many cases, do not have the right solution and they don't have the right answer. So politicians should seek advice. And if they haven't listened to Lady Gaga, why haven't they listened to Lady Gaga when Lady Gaga is very popular and might give them tips in how things actually work?
Now you're the chair of culture for Reykjavik. There's 6. You've 6 seats. The best party has 6 seats on the Reykjavik City Council. What have you done, do you think, to improve the situation in Reykjavik and Iceland since you gained these council seats?
What we have gained, or what we can say, is that with us coming into politics, we do not necessarily see that it is a victory for us that we are getting into power. It was basically a clear signal to all other political parties that they needed to change as well. Our success was a clear signal for change, and that other political parties should possibly revamp what they were doing, throw people out, get new people in.
It's much like when your home is in a mess, and you come home and you see your home in a mess, and so you put Lady Gaga on the phone, and when you've listened to Lady Gaga for a while, you start tidying up and putting things back in order.
I understand that. On a more serious note, because you're a comedian and you're an actor, you're a writer, but you've now entered politics. What kind of politicians, though, long term, do you think does a country like Iceland, a country like Ireland need? What sort of people should be going into politics?
I think all sorts of people. As the more the diversity, the better.
And politics should possibly not be a profession, and that's possibly one of the sort of main drawbacks of politics today, is that you get politicians who are professional. But it's not a flippant comment about Lady Gaga. You put Lady Gaga on the phone and it has got a beat to it, and you are confused in a confusion of, like, let's say, a bank crash. You put Lady Gaga, at least she will give you a beat to start doing things. And so you need motivation, and the motivation can be listening to other people to see what other people are doing, and putting, Lady Gaga on, or my band on, which has got a beat to it, and then you can work that further. But for politicians, they just need to seriously look at how they've been conducting business over the past, and if they think they've done anything shady or that they haven't achieved anything, then they should not run for office.
And also, Lady Gaga is something she's somehow right in between Madonna and Marilyn Manson. So I think she's right on the spot.
Tell me, how do you think your new Prime Minister, I'm not even going to attempt to try to pronounce her name. How do you pronounce her name?
Jóhanna Sigurðardóttir.
Yeah, very good. How do you think she's performing now in office so far? And the new coalition, her party with the Green Party.
I'm very happy with her, and I think it's a shame she doesn't get more credit, I think.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm all for her. I mean, I think they are in a difficult situation, and they're working, finding ways out of it.
She is also the world's first openly gay prime minister. Now, I know Iceland is very liberal, and you take that in your stride. Nevertheless, she's very strong. She got married just shortly after she became prime minister, when it was completely legalised to have civil partnerships.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think it's wonderful, and I think the news media in Iceland should talk more about that and see the positive sides, because the media has a tendency to draw attention on the negative sides of everything. So I say, I advise to people, don't follow the media, don't watch the news, listen to Lady Gaga, and this will blow over. Everything is going to be okay. It's not the end of the world.
Just on that point, are things improving in Iceland?
Yeah, they are improving, and people are regaining hope and confidence, self-confidence, and the shame is going down, and so people are getting more self-esteem and the courage to dream and to create and to be, and that's the whole thing.
Now, how did people in Iceland get to that stage? Because we're all, you might have picked this up during your short trip here so far. Irish people, it's like there's a collective malaise right now. We're all depressed. We all feel there's no future. How do you get beyond that to the point where you believe, well, you just have to forget about the IMF, EU rescuing us and the country being in the economic doldrums, and, let's get back on our feet and be happy again?
But isn't it also this depression? It's also a part of your heritage of being Irish, isn't it?
We're melancholy. That's the thing we are.
Yeah, I mean, we
like being sad and unhappy.
Yeah, well, it's a part of the tragic history of Ireland. I mean, it's a part of who you are. So I mean. Accept yourself, like you are, like Lady Gaga says. She says it all.
You really like Lady Gaga, don't you?
I love her.
No,
I really love her.
Have you met her?
No, I have never met her, but she's probably one of the few persons in the world I would really like to meet.
And also, I've just had this discussion, about Iceland, but then Ireland has a great heritage in culture, in music, and I'm not going to name any bands or anything like that, but I can mention that you go into a pub in West Ireland and there's a band playing. They've got great heritage in music, in literature, and that's the identity. You've got beautiful countryside, that's the identity of Ireland. The identity of Ireland is not IMF. Forget that. The identity is not EU savings fund. The identity of Ireland is not crashed banks or bankers or whatever. That is not the identity of Ireland. Ireland needs just to reaffirm what their identity is. And you've got masses. It's not like that you are a generic nation of red-haired people who eat potatoes. Oh no, you have much more, and that's what you can give out to the world. And that's the same with Iceland. We are not blonde. Well, you're red-haired.
He could be Irish, actually.
Yeah, he could be Irish, but that's the same with Iceland. How there is a message of positivism, of being positive, and you're asking about the situation in Iceland. There is still a lot of figuring needing to be done financially. We are told that, when we were making the financial budget for 2011, that this was the third in recession. That's the third year in cutbacks, and 2011 would be the worst. And now we've done the budget, and now we're told that 2012 will be the worst.
That's like us.
Yeah, and so how do you deal with it? You get on with it, and even if the thing is that if you have got little money, make the most of the money you have got and spend it, use it for young people, try to use it on education.
Yeah. And also I like with the media, when after the crash in Iceland, when the Prime Minister came on television and asked God to bless Iceland, people who were never followed the media, had no interest for the news. They suddenly started watching the news, and we were like slaves to the media, like slaves to the news.
Because it's also depressing. This is the trouble, actually. It creates a depression.
This
constant flow of bad news.
Withholds the depression and the fear. They always have this fear. Could this possibly mean that something horrible could maybe happen? Yes. Dum dum dum, says this man. So it's like speculations about fear, and it draws us, when we start to follow it, it draws us into a
catatonic state of not doing anything, and we refuse to be on that boat.
And our own fear is our biggest enemy, in my opinion. If we get rid of the fear, we can do anything. We can survive this. This is nothing. I mean, we survived the Middle Ages and everything, and all sorts of horrible
natural disasters of unthinkable scales in Iceland.